Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time of the day it is for you. My name is Eva Marie Everson. I'm the director of Florida Christian Writers Conference, and the person sitting to my left and or right is...
I'm actually below you on my screen. I'm Taryn Souders, and I'm the co-director of the Florida Christian Writers Conference.
Excellent. You know, naturally, this is our first video that we're doing for Florida Christian Writers Conference. We're also the president and vice president of Word Weavers International, which owns Florida Christian Writers Conference. I'm very excited that we're doing this again, but naturally my neighbor's lawn guy just decided to start mowing. So I hope that's not going to be a distraction. But today we just want to talk to you about the fiction intensive that we plan to have this year. Last year, we started something new. We had a full day of intensive workshops for children's book writers. It was such a success that we decided to do it again this year, but for fiction writers. So, Taryn, tell these wonderful people who we have coming in.
We have some amazing people, and I am so excited about this. So I'll just go down the list, and then we can kind of dive a little bit into what they may or may not be teaching. We're going to try to finalize that here soon, but we have James Hannibal.
Yes.
We have, which I'm so excited about, Michele Cynoweth, Lynn Austin, who is an amazing writer. All of these writers are amazing writers in their own right. I'm so excited. Cynthia Ruchti, Dan Walsh, and Lynette Eason.
And Lynette Eason. I mean, first of all, every one of these writers, and they are all known for their work in fiction. They are all like multiple award-winning authors. And in fact, Lynn Austin is the first fiction writer, to go into the Christie Hall of Fame, which means she won first place. I believe it was 8 times. So she can no longer win. She can't enter anymore. You know, like her books cannot be in the Christie Awards because she is a Hall of Famer. You know, our good friend, James, oh dear, lost his last name because James Hannibal just came to me. Jim, we call him Jim. So anyway, Jim is also a Hall of Famer. He's going to kill me. I cannot believe his name just completely left my mind because I've got James Hannibal's card here right in front of me. Anyway,
and I'm no help. I can't.
Oh my gosh, we just had it. We were just on a video with him last week.
Rhubarb.
Kill us. He's gonna kill us. Jim, I am so sorry. You can just, wipe me out of your favorite people. I'm so sorry. Anyway, let's just go back. Let's talk about some of these people. Lynn Austin is coming in. And again, I mean, she is a Christie Hall of Famer. She was the first Christie Hall of Famer. We absolutely love her. And her story is so amazing. My plan right now is to ask her if she will give a short keynote during our luncheon that day. So I'm very hopeful for that. I think she'll say yes. Okay, let's also talk about Cynthia Ruchti, because if you've ever, I love all these writers, but if you've ever read a Cynthia Ruchti book, she is so good. She really is. She's also an agent. So she's going to bring a little twist for us, she understands the author perspective, the agent perspective. So she understands what the agent needs to see from the author and what the author needs to do, what that author needs to present, but not just for the agent, for the editors, for the readers, etc.
And having that information ahead of time as you are crafting a story is so important. And that is not information that you want to miss out on.
No, it's not. Now, I know how you feel about James Hannibal. This is like, I
will be fangirling probably.
We'll probably have to put a leash on Taryn. Back, girl, back. You and your mom and your dad, you guys are such fans of his work.
Yeah, we really do. And what one of the things I appreciate, particularly about this fiction intensive, the fact that James is coming, is that he writes so many different things. Like if you, and I know like you spec writers, sometimes you feel left out in the cold.
Yeah.
Well, James actually, and same with YA. Guess what? James has a speculative YA series out there. So I strongly recommend that you come and attend his classes, but he also does political thrillers and mysteries. So there's just so much to choose from. No matter if you write romance or historical or whatever, we will have a class that's going to hopefully feed your soul in that area.
Absolutely. And speaking of different genres, Lynette Eason, who is like the queen of romantic suspense and suspense. I mean, one of her books has been made into a movie. And she's just, I mean, she churns them out like nobody's business. She writes like 4 books a year, and they're multiple award winning across the board. We are so excited to finally have Lynette come in and be with us at the Florida conference. This has actually been a long time coming. We've been planning this for some time. Wanted to have her a couple of years ago, I think it was, and something came up for her. She wasn't able to come. So finally, we were able to get our schedules together. Yay, Lynette Eason is coming in. Here's another one that we're excited to meet, Michele Cynoweth. Michele has written a boatload of books. She's a college professor, am I right?
I believe so. I think
she is. I think she is. I know she also writes political thrillers, if I'm not mistaken. But she is again, multiple award winning. And this is Michele. I have never met her in person, but Michele is one of those writers, like comrades in our industry who I have emailed with back and forth for years now. Finally, we get to bring her in for the Fiction Intensive. So now she's going to stay. And that's the great news, by the way, that most of these are staying for the entire conference. So not only will you have this opportunity, if you're at the Fiction Intensive, to hear them teach in a smaller type classroom, in a more intimate way, and because only you will be there, only those who are attending the Fiction Intensive will be there. So you just got that. I think is more intimate, and it's and a time where you can really chat with these people. It's not that intensity that happens once the conference gets started. So it's gonna be a lot.
Kind of like, you've got your big university, and then you have your community college. And you
get this is the community. The Fiction Intensive is the community college. Okay. Yeah, I like that. But I'm really looking forward to getting to know Michele better than what we have so far. Just chat. We chatted on the phone. We have certainly emailed back and forth, but when we say send us some workshops that you can teach, Michele sent us volumes. She is so well versed in this.
It was great.
Yeah, I know. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's going to be so hard to pick 2 to teach that day. And then finally, Dan Walsh.
Dan Walsh. Yes, I'm so excited about Dan Walsh. He's a local Florida author, so we're always excited when we can have Floridians join us. But he's also won SELA Awards multiple times and Carroll Awards multiple times, and he has just a really interesting story of how he first got into his first book being published. And he's done both traditional and indie, and he has a lot of knowledge that he can share between those two. And then his fiction books are just and again, he has some historical books, he has contemporary books. So everyone is just crossing a lot of the different kind of subgenres within fiction. And if you can't find something,
at one time they were,
you're not looking.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, you're going to find exactly what you need. We are picking workshops that will be for beginners, for intermediate, for advanced, and that will go across the board. What if this workshop does not appeal to you, then that workshop will. And you'll have 2 workshops per hour to choose from, a total of 6 hours of intensive workshops plus our lunch. And what I was going to say about Dan was, at one time he was referred to as the Nicholas Sparks of Christian fiction. I'm not sure if he loved that or not, but a lot of people love Nicholas Sparks. So a lot of readers really love that. And I can see where somebody would say that about Dan's work. It's just really, really good. But also there's another advantage to being a part of the fiction intensive if you're a fiction writer, and that has to do with setting appointments. Taryn, can you talk about that?
Yes. So normally for FCWC, we open up the appointments on Thursday. And what I mean by that is our conference guarantees all of our conferees 3 15-minute appointments to meet with editors, agents, publishers, authors, whoever. And it's free. We don't charge you for that. And that normally is done Thursday at 4:00 in the afternoon. But if you are attending the fiction intensive on Wednesday, you actually get to sign up during lunch, I believe is how we did it last year. So we will bring those forms with us. You get to sign up a whole day early. So that kind of gives you prime time slots. Definitely you have first choice on who you get to meet with. Sometimes the schedules fill up. And so this is great because this guarantees you that time slot.
Okay, so there's one other thing I want to talk about very quickly, and that is mentors. And I think most of these people will be mentors at the conference itself. Once the conference begins, we have something called brainstorming with the experts. This is something that Jean Weiland handles for us. We will probably interview Jean within the next few weeks, so you'll find out more about it. But again, this is an awesome opportunity for you to sit down with these particular authors, not for 15 minutes, but for 30 minutes. And is that right? It's 30 minutes, correct? Okay, so for 30 minutes, you do pay for this, but what you do is you send your work ahead to them, whatever it is that they ask for. It could be, like the first 10 pages of your work, or the first 10 pages plus your synopsis, that kind of thing. And this is speaking strictly fiction for right now. The mentors goes all the way across the genre board, but this is just for these particular fiction writers. And so let's say you are like you like to write YA spec, and you want to sit down with James Hannibal and talk with him about your work in particular. You will send that work to him ahead of time. You will pay him, not us, but you will pay him. And then we will have a time set for you to sit down with James for an entire half hour. And he will go over your work. You can talk to him about what you want to talk about, and let him guide you. You can talk about next steps. You can talk about whether or not your work is publishable yet or not, et cetera, et cetera. So that is also another awesome opportunity that we're offering you at the Florida conference. So, Taryn, registration's open?
Registration is open, and we have our early bird special going on. It runs through till midnight, June 30th.
Yes.
So if you register July 1st, you've missed out on early birds. But we have some wonderful perks with our early bird registration. You get $100 off, which is a huge savings. You also get, if you are one of the first 30, and I will tell you, we are coming up to that
We're
number.
we're at like 28.
You're in the first 30, you get the VIP breakfast for free. After that, the VIP breakfast is still available. You'll just need to pay, and it's $20, and that covers it for the whole time that you're there.
Yeah.
And all that goes towards scholarships. So you're doing a good thing anyway. Yeah. You also get free downloadable recordings of all of the classes that are recorded. And you get a 20% off your total purchase at the FCWC bookstore. Right. So load up.
Yeah. So, and just to clarify, because some people get very confused about this whole midnight thing. So you've got all day, June the 30th, but once it's July, and it's July Eastern time, by the way, it ends. So, you've got all the way up until then to register and use the early bird coupon code, which is all caps, one word, early bird, right?
Yes, that is correct. And please remember, you may only use one coupon code. So those of you who are WordWeaver members, you cannot use the early bird coupon code and the WordWeaver coupon code. You can only use one. I don't think it's going to even let you use two.
Yes, yes. And same thing, like for WordWeaver's members, just remember the early bird is better than the WordWeaver coupon code. That is a better deal. But if you can't make it by July 1st, WordWeavers, of course, we want to honor you by giving you that $50 off. If you are a WordWeavers mentor or a WordWeavers president, you can use your coupon code. Understand, you will still be considered an early bird, but you will not be able to use both of those codes. So anything else that we need to talk about today before it? Well, it's word-weavers.com/Florida events. Again, that's word-weavers.com/Florida events, and that will take you to our page.
And the only thing that I can think of that we might want to just remind y'all is when you're thinking about making appointments for mentors, realize there's more that you can talk to them about than just your book. Maybe you need to brainstorm about marketing. Your book's about to come out and you need to know, okay, how can I best market? How do I build social platforms? So we will have people on our faculty, no matter where you are in your writing journey, they will be able to help guide you and mentor you. So don't think, oh, I have to have something written. That's not necessarily the case.
No, it's not. And also, one more thing before we say goodbye for now is if you are going to be a part of the Fiction Intensive and you need to drive in or fly in and you want to make sure you're there first thing on Wednesday morning, you can come in on Tuesday evening. I think 6:30 is when we open up registration. So you can go ahead and come in, get your room, and get settled in, and then have breakfast the next morning. And of course, that includes lunch the next day. And then we go into the conference itself. But if you're relatively close and you want to drive in on Wednesday morning and save that little bit of cash, then you are certainly welcome just to drive on in Wednesday. And of course, we have the commuter rates as well. And that's for people who live in the Central Florida area who just plan to drive back and forth every day. So we think it's affordable. One more thing, the cost that you see at the website is all inclusive. That is your room, that is your food, and that is your conference. We do not separate those things. So make it easier for you. Anything else?
I can't think of anything.
Okay, well, I just look forward to seeing everybody in October. I can't believe we're doing this again, but here we are doing this. All right, see you in October. If you have any questions, please feel free to email us at Florida, spelled out FLORIDA CWC @AOL.com. See you next time.